Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I didn't forget. Um,
About tonight or
I was like, I didn't have school on Tuesday. Okay, I have a big post-it class tonight,
right?
but I didn't get to start chapter 3 yet.
No problem.
Unfortunately, although I'm not in the fire zones, the fires are traveling here, so everybody in the house has had asthma attacks. I'm like,
Sure. This is a review of chapter 4 this week too, so no big deal.
oh wait, we're doing both of them? Okay.
3 and 4. Yeah, this is chapter 4. And this will be the last week for you to. Well, I have the final available to you guys till after October. I think all the way till December. So take it when you want to. It's there. I'll walk you guys through in the email to you guys after this class about how to
Okay.
print your certificate out of completion. So you'll be
So
all.
how hard is the final?
We'll talk about it. It's not too bad. Some people in the
Is
class
it timed?
yeah, I believe it was 25 minutes. Um I did it in like 6 minutes.
That's because you understand this stuff. This is still a foreign language. I'm
It's,
getting better at it though.
and if you
They'll be
don't,
looking at me like,
as long as
"What
you're
are
with
you
the class,
talking about?"
it's there's nothing, there's no gotchas, there's no hooks out there, there's no curveballs. It's all pretty straightforward. We've
Okay.
talked about a lot of this stuff in our class already. So even just based on what we talked about, you'd probably already at 60% of the test. A little bit,
Okay. Okay.
little bit
I
of
trust you.
cramming, you'll be okay. And I'll walk you through some things you're gonna want to study. I think you take them multiple times too, which is
Okay. I'm
okay.
good. As long as I can take it more than once.
You'll be able to reevaluate. Remember, it'll be different each time, so it won't be like you can like
Yeah.
save your answers. It'll be different.
Okay. I don't feel too bad.
You'll be fine.
You might just be stuck with just me.
We're fine. We're good. I'm here. Or this class will be all for you guys to just go ahead and start cramming. I know a lot of people have missed a lot of the quizzes already too, so we'll have a little open discussion. Lori took it. Lori passed it. She did a good job. So we'll talk to her. You can bounce some questions off her. Obviously, things I'm not going to be able to answer. She can, because there's just things I can't say to you guys. But being a student, she can say whatever she wants to say. You know what I mean? I'm not going to hold her
So
back.
you can't help us cheat, teacher. I'm just playing.
Exactly. I won't do that. If your classmates can, I won't. Like that.
Fine.
And literally,
Thought we was friends.
if you just go through, like I said, the chapters, that's super. I'm not gonna say it's super simple, but I'm telling you, we went over so much of the stuff already in class. You're probably like, oh, you can probably do a lot of it already what you have, but I would definitely say cram. I would definitely say
Okay.
give yourself about 20 minutes a chapter, probably about an hour and a half before your test, and then take it. And I bet you'll fly through flying colors. I guarantee it. Anybody in my
Okay. So if I was going to make everything I learned and turn it into a business, how would I be able to sell this to people? Not that I'm going to do it because I realize, well, I like to know it for myself. Heck no. You always going to have that one person that never follows your instructions I'm always worried about that one client that messes up everything, but they want you to fix it.
okay, gotcha.
And I'm not that techie yet.
Well, this is a good class to take then, because it's like, well, why waste our time, with the class you might not want to be in. This is definitely a great class to find out what you want to do. Absolutely.
But I did tell a lot of people that I have another friend, her husband does it. And so she was like, well, I want to see if, maybe I like it. And I was like, oh, I have the perfect program for you. And she was like, now I have to do it because you told me and you told my husband. I was like, oh, sorry.
Yeah,
My
awesome.
bad. I was like, you'll be fine. I was like, Travis is super duper nice. So yeah, I've at least told a few people about it.
Appreciate it.
So they were like, wait, you're really doing this? I was like, yeah, it's super cool. I was like, I just realized that I'm still learning. So this is like, you keep doing it and then you come back. But her husband does, like, this is what he does. He runs his own company, but of course, and I think she does it for the government lightweight, but not to the extent that he does. So I'm like,
Cybersecurity or something different?
Her husband does cybersecurity, so he's always telling us the ways to, because my passwords are the worst. I'm that one that has that really simple one because I know I'm going to forget, but you're not supposed to have the simple one. So they can hack me anytime.
Okay, yeah, I hear you. You
They
said
were
you had
like,
the
make it like
password class.
long. I can't do the complicated. I'm like, and then they're like, it needs to be 16 numbers or like a mixture of 16. And I'm like, I barely remember the 8.
There's ways of doing it. Like, so one way I used to do it was I'd say like I had like a Netflix password, right? And say something I would use for my password would be my dog Chili, right? So I would do Chili1 as like a base password. But then what I would do is I would add the first 3 initials of Netflix. So it'd be like Net Chili1, and it'd be like MSN Chili1. So you have your base, and so when you go somewhere and you forget your password, like, oh, you know what? I'll use the first 3 letters and then I'll remember it, because that's always helped me out.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Because I'm always forgot password.
But again, but the net will be like, a capital N, a capital @ symbol, and a capital T. And then, like I said, but then easily you'll be able to remember what your password is for everything else, because you'll know be the first 3 letters of that place. Just something I used to do. I thought it was pretty legit. Right now have a 13-character password, which is just, I won't go into it, but definitely it's a lot as it used to be.
Okay. We'll make some changes.
For sure. And there's all kinds of ways of doing it. How you doing, Juliana?
Hi, I'm doing good.
How's the weather out there? A little still wet out there?
No, it's actually 70-something degrees, so it's pretty good out here.
That's nice.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Lori.
Thank you for sending me the YouTube information and for checking about the test.
Yep.
On the test, do we get more than one try?
Yeah, I saw you took it already. Good job, you passed it.
Well, I would have liked a better grade, but I don't know, is that an overall grade, or how does the grading system work?
Again, it's like you have to do all of the quizzes are become part of your grade as well. And just going through the course, you get a base number, because every page you click through, it gives you like a point for it. So as long as you go through all the pages, as long as you take all the quizzes, you're gonna be good.
Okay.
The final counts like, I think, like 40% of the class overall score. But again, it's self-paced. If you retake it again, you'll have new questions. So you can take, I think you can take it multiple times. I took it twice. I think you should be able to take it too.
Okay. Thank you.
And no problem. And congrats, you did a good job.
Thank you.
I won't say your score, but she did pass, and Cora was really scared about passing it. I'm like, we did a lot of this in class. How much do you think of the test was what we went over in class over what you did by yourself in the reading, Lori?
Well, I don't have a really good memory, and so I found it a little that test difficult, actually.
Good.
Because of all of the what does this do and what does this do, and if you pair them together, that sort of thing. It was a little bit off-putting. But not to scare anybody, I just think if you really reread this stuff again, it'll be more beneficial to you.
Good. Yeah, she did pass it, so good job, which is awesome. Hey, Phil, welcome.
Hello.
Hey, guys. We're just congratulating Lori on passing her final, which is great. Hey, Sue, we see you.
You can see me. Do we have to do the test by a certain date? I did all the quizzes.
Thank you for doing the quizzes. I extended the final date for the class. I think it's in December, so you can take it. You have all the time you want to take it. It's self-paced. There was a deadline at first on it, but I found out that I could change that, which I did. So you can take it whenever you want to. And then I'll email you guys the directions on how to print out your certificate after you're done with the grade that you want. I believe you could take it. I believe it's up to 3 times. It could be more.
For the test.
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
And then Yeah, no, I'll give you guys a link on how to print it out. Just remember, every time you take it, the questions will be different each time. So it'll
Right.
kind of like refresh on you. Super simple. You can please, Lori took a test already. So ask Lori any questions you want to. She'll probably answer some stuff that I can't or won't for you.
Right.
So please use your student friends as a good resource.
Well, like the same thing I find, you know, like I can spend hours doing the reading or whatever, you know, like, and I still have questions, and then the quiz. I just feel like if the exam is going to go back to a lot of the minutia of the questions that are things that weren't in the quizzes, then, you know, it's how to study for that effectively.
You know, I'll say it was terminology light. You know, I think each time you take it, you'll have a couple different terminology questions in there. There were things that were asking, like, you know, what is a worm? What's a worm versus a virus? You know, what's a chain attack? You know, and those were kind of harder ones. A lot of them were conceptual ethic questions, which you guys all did on the ethics stuff, so that's cool.
Uh-huh.
And I was saying before, a lot of the stuff we covered in class together, I made sure that we did. So even just us talking and hearing us ramble, we'll probably get you 60% on the course. So that's helpful.
Right, but you want to get I kept doing the quizzes because I would do stuff like the last one where I spelt something wrong and it told me no. So, you know, it's like we want to do well because that look good for our program, right?
Yeah,
60% is not.
There wasn't a whole lot that was on the final that wasn't in the quizzes. So as long as you do the quizzes and you're good on those, you should be okay.
Now, see,
And
I found mine to have a lot of the terminology in it.
Really?
Yeah. I wonder if there are different tests for everybody.
It'll randomize for you.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I believe they waited. I think it was like after you do like the breakdown, the analyzation. I think there was only like of like 20 questions. There might have been like 4 that were like straight terminology questions. A lot of them were just like comparative for me. And it was when I took it. So yeah, like I said, it is going to throw them at you, and I don't think it's one of those ones that changes as you take it. You know, where it'll start, you know, throwing things it'll find things that are wrong with you, and they'll try to hit you with harder at that point. They're not like that from what I saw. So
Okay.
yeah, and I took it twice, and I did fair both times. I didn't ace it by any means, but yeah, I did good on it. So I believe you guys could do really good on it too.
Well, that makes us feel real good if you didn't ace it.
Yeah, it should. This is all new to me too.
And some of my questions you were to answer it, and there was maybe 2 questions. What am I trying to say? The question asked for 2 answers, and I might have gotten one of them right and one of them wrong.
Well, and some answers are legitimate answers for the question. Like there'll be like 3 answers, and depending on what you choose is worth more points. Like so, there's 3 things you can choose here, but one gives you more points than the other. So yeah, definitely just sit back and think on it. There's definitely enough time to take the test. You know, you don't have to worry about being rushed. I had plenty of time. I felt. I think my test time was like 25 minutes, and I think it was like 20 or 15 questions, which is a lot for like 1 or 2 line quizzes, I think. Hey John, I was saying that that Lori took it. Lori did a great job on it. So if you guys have any questions, that she probably answered a lot of things that I won't answer for you. So please use your classmates. They're here to help.
Yeah, like I said, I cut my vacation short to come home to take it, and then when I got here, it said, well, it had to be done by 7 o'clock in the morning. It was like, oh, this is very disappointing.
Yeah, that was
and so
I'm sorry about that.
Well, thank you again for changing that, because I was really bummed about that.
Yeah. And as I said, I believe the course is available till the end of December, but I think you have until I want to say you have until like the 2nd week of October to take your test, your final. But I think you can still go and like check the class out and read things if you want to, and read the course over. But I believe you have to have your final by October 2nd week of October, and I'll confirm that with you in an email later tonight or tomorrow. So you still have time to take it. You can take it multiple times. I believe 3 is the times you can take it from what I read. I'll confirm that with you guys again. I took it.
And it'll take your best score, yes, right? Uh-huh. Okay.
What's where do we go to do the final test?
If you go through the resources, right, the last thing you have to do is it will have like a feedback. It wants like a course feedback. And once you've done the course feedback, like how you thought the course was, like the actual Cisco, not what I'm doing here, but the Cisco course, then after that's completed, you can take the final. So if you go through like the resource on the right-hand side, I was showing you where you see quizzes and those things, you'll see down the list, it'll be final there, but it's kind of like, it's a link, but you can't access it. The one above it will be the feedback, the course feedback. Once that's completed, it's like, I think it's like 10 questions or something like that, 15 questions. Once that's done, you're eligible for the exam.
How many questions are in the final? Do we know?
There were 20.
I think it was 20 questions.
Okay.
And what I did, if I didn't know the answer right away, I just went to the next one. So it gave me more time to think. You know, I got to come back. There were 3 of them I wasn't sure about. So I left those blank, just continued on. And then I went back and figured out those other ones.
Yeah, on the bottom, you'll see little boxes that represent the question. On the bottom of the screen, there's like 20 little boxes. And when you're on one, it'll be green. If you skip one, it'll be blue. So you'll know which one you've missed when you're done. But remember, on the very right-hand side, will say submit, and that's the end. So don't hit submit until you're done. On the very left-hand side, you'll see the navigation bar will say next. So you want to go next through each question if you pick what you want. And then you can go back to either of them you want to go back to them and change them. It's a really cool test. With the twice I took it, I saw questions that were later on that affected the first question, so I was able to go back and change those, which is awesome, you know, kind of like back in the old SAT test, you can go back. So don't hit submit until you're done, right? So you want to be completely submit it, and the left-hand side will be your next button. And if you just look at a little gray box on the bottom, it'll tell you where you are and which ones you haven't done yet. So you'll have ample time to go through. I believe you don't have to stress out on it. I definitely would encourage like maybe a cramming of the course. I'd say a couple hours before your test. Seriously, go through it. Just kind of go page by page, soak in what you can. A little bit of terminology, you know, obviously great. But I didn't see a whole lot of stuff that was in the quizzes that wasn't in the final, so you'll be good on that part as long as you do your quizzes. And again, we'll use this class to please just go through and study, or you know, if you're here right now, you take the quiz while you're here right now. The final. That'd be great. There's a lot of quizzes that people haven't done yet. That I can see in the course, so I can try to do some quizzes. Again, you know, you can take those. Has everyone taken a quiz twice? Can you do those twice?
Yes.
There you go. Don't be afraid to take them a couple times and go through them, please. And yeah, use this course as a good day of studying and reflection, and let's get those finals knocked out if we can.
Yeah, I had to do the last one again. Felt like a Cisco catalog. I had to remember.
What about the servers and the switches, and got a little deep?
Yeah, I mean, they were really marketing pretty hard there, man.
Yeah.
I had to admit.
The Cisco action team or reaction team or whatever.
The Cisco secret sauce will go out there and put a stop to anything that comes your way. Just remember the acronyms and you'll do fine.
Yeah, their hardware's pretty crazy. If you ever bought the switches before or try to buy them off somebody else, you can't just use their stuff anywhere you want to. You have to actually have a license. You have to actually have they have to have your number. They have to have your work. What do you call that? Your SLA, basically your service level agreement with them. So you actually have to. You can't just go buy Cisco equipment. You already have to buy it through them. Buy it from somebody else. It won't work in your building. It's pretty crazy.
I know one guy that programs the higher end stuff, and somebody told me what he earned, and I thought like an hour, because I only see him every once in a while, and somebody told me, yeah, he earns about $700 an hour. I'm like, come on, and they looked at me like, yeah,
right. There's like a whole day's work too, or Jesus.
Yeah, I tried to say goodbye to the guy one day. He's sitting there like entrenched in these units. They all stacked, and he's sitting, and I tried to say goodbye, and he didn't say anything to me. And the following day, he like whooped me, man. Like, when I'm in zone, you don't bother me. I was like, okay.
Wow.
And then the guy paying the bill was just like, don't you bother him. Like $700 now? Okay, well, I don't know this guy.
Right. Yeah, those guys are on different planets when they start programming the VLANs and the routes and just basically like how this switch talks to this switch and just the manipulation of data flow from one box to another between floors is, it's crazy. Like not even just turning these things on and doing the actual hardware, but the programming of the actual routing and the virtual LANs it's so far beyond anything I've ever learned. And when you see those guys, they're like murdering someone in another country while they're looking at you in the eyes. Like you have no idea. Like their brains are so far out of like this plane of existence. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and I thought the other day I was actually telling you because he had to replace 12 Cisco Catalyst switches,
Oh, wow.
and I said that the Catalysts were 30,000 a piece. I actually got corrected; they were over 100,000 a piece.
For a catalyst, really?
Yeah, they're not like the blue ones; they're the silver ones. I couldn't identify them, but there's that much intellectual property that they're protecting that they kind of so.
Well, plus even just from 2 fiber connections to 4 fiber connections, like in between each switch they have to have the fiber connections, right? And so if you're going between card to card, like from 2 to 4 is the jump from money is extremely high, and you can't just add those things when you want to. Those things are hardwired in. So yeah, definitely those things to get really pricey, especially the chassis that holds all of them. Oh, it's nuts.
And then they have to be connected with Synology. What was it? I think it was 74 terabytes per rack of Synology data. Dude, this was such an heavy ass project that they ended up putting on Synology's website. I guess that's pretty much all I can say before I get myself into a lawsuit.
Sure. They say that they cataloged the whole event.
No, they just the system is so impressive that if you go into Synology, it's there, and if you see a Napa winery, you can kind of get it.
That's cool, man. Yeah, there's a lot of fires going on too, so hopefully you're able to get that stuff out of the room.
Yeah.
Everybody okay? Is everybody affected by these fires? Is everybody okay at their house?
House is okay. Next year, there's going to be no vintages for any of the wineries we work with.
Not for Sue.
Is Sue okay?
No, not. I'm okay where I am right now, but my old house burned.
I'm sorry, Sue.
So I'm part of Calistoga. So it's you're not going to recognize Calistoga.
Oh gosh, I'm so sorry, Sue.
Really
So
sorry.
it's south of Dunawheel. So on Highway 29.
I appreciate you.
So it got there, and anyway, it's going to be like horrible. So I got that news yesterday.
I'm sorry to hear
So
that.
yeah, that's my Upper Valley is my home. I've been in Napa down Lower Valley for 5 years, and I just got to Marin, and I'm trying to get perspective. And I'm part of Auberge Resort, so Calistoga Ranch burnt down, and you can't get to Auberge, but they're horrible company. So
sorry to hear that.
but right now our IT, we don't know. Our IT was offline, so hopefully I'll get paid for my commission. They told us we could take time off, and their response to us is to use our vacation for the fact that we're evacuated.
Why don't they just furlough you so you can get unemployment?
Right.
I can't get unemployment. That's the thing, is that Meadowood, which is a better organization, their Zoom, I'm on the spa side. So the spa side, they were on a Zoom call, and their spa is still there, even though, parts of Meadowood burned.
Right.
But the first thing they care about is their employees and that they're taken care of with unemployment.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a different companies. My company won't acknowledge that Calistoga Ranch burnt down to the ground, but Senator Dodd can go on television and say that. So it's a sad reality of that.
Well, if you look on the news, you'll see that a whole bunch of big corporations let go of all their staff. And I actually found out the reason being is that it's not so that they don't pay unemployment, it's so that they can claim less employee insurance for next year. So
Right. Yeah. I'm very lucky that my company had done, they fired a lot of people in my company, and I've so far been able to stay. I've been with my company 14 and a half years. I was previously working with them 6 days a week. I was working 7 days a week before COVID, but I'm looking forward to a new career. So this is why I am happy to be in this class. But yeah, it's going to be, you know, it's one, for me, it's one tragedy after another because I'm part of the Calistoga, you know,
I'll tell
area
you,
that's burning down, but it did get to Highway 29.
with these fires that happened 3 years ago was the reason why Duckhorn went zero. Everything they have is in the cloud because they could be evacuated almost every single time
Yeah.
this happens. So their technology staff, they almost doubled, and their budget almost doubled. They're putting so much money into Amazon Web Services and having these things online, which will be more technology in the future. When this happens, people are going to be having their
Right.
ones somewhere else, and they're going to need people like you and us.
Yeah.
I'm glad
So
you're
I lived almost across from Satui, and they lost 3,000 cases, and Dario Satui cried on television.
I heard about that.
So that gives you an extent. So Duckhorn is amazing that they're there because the fire was there. So like the resources saved Duckhorn, and they saved other people's houses and people I know, but the resources weren't where I used to live because it was right by Sterling. That I knew they were in danger because parts of Sterling. I was next to Sterling. I was on Highway 29. So I know people who saved what you're going to see that's still there on Dunawheel and parts of the trail by there.
yeah.
But anything you see is because of heroes, and that includes IT people, and the PG&E people.
Sure.
For helping us get through this. But I had to get out of Napa today. I can't even deal. So
Yeah, you don't want to be here right now. It's so smoky, and it's very, I mean, they're putting out things not to go outside because of the smoke. It's
no,
not
I'll go
healthy.
back. Yeah, no, I just literally left at 4
Mhm.
and I went to the beach for the sunset, and I'll be going back after this class. I was gonna stay for the class, and I just said, I'm no good for anybody.
So did you lose your house too?
My Calistoga house, that I lived in for 8 years, and I was, I've spent more time there than anywhere. And then I've been down in Napa for a few years, thank goodness. So I have evacuated people at my house right now, and
Okay.
dogs and things. So I have people storing stuff at my house, and all of Calistoga is evacuated, and you can't get St. Helena, yesterday I tried to get up to 128, and you can't get to my property where I work. They cut you off at 128. And then in St. Helena yesterday, you could only get so far down certain streets, and they've got, there's looting too. So, there's, for whatever reason, we were trying to get to a friend's house, and they have that all blocked off down. So, but there was nothing in St. Helena that I could see that had burned. So that was good news, because it's not good in Spring Mountain. So, how deep it got to various places will be assessed in time.
Sure.
And we don't know because of the winds. So.
Yeah, I think we're on red alert, or the flag alert, or whatever that is, until Saturday. Now, I think that's what I saw on the news.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thanks for the distraction, Travis.
At what point are we going to conclude that we have nothing left to burn?
Yeah, I don't know what's on fire anymore. Is dirt flammable?
I don't know. They dumping some kerosene out there. For 4 or 5 years straight, huge fires around this area.
Same places, you know what I mean? It's like, what is going on here?
I'm surprised there's even a town by Lake County anymore. Or Lake Furious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's still things to burn. Things that have
Apparently.
never burned are burning. So that's just, what's happening is there's kindle. So,
This thing, they might as well just start opening logging up. Like, you know what? Let's just get it out of here, log it before it burns. Let's actually make some lumber to make some houses. How about that? Better than the
Then
burning.
you're gonna take
Travis-
all the little homes for the furry animals away, man.
Dude, but that doesn't have them being on fire, man.
Dude, the logic
What-
is not sound. I completely agree.
what is Jan done with the 7 or 16 IT with that work for
Wow.
Sounds like a
and
Daft
that-
Punk song.
So you sound like you're on you're with the Black Eyed Peas. It's totally technical digital voice coming through. We can't hear you, or I couldn't.
You roboted.
Yeah, just a little.
Yeah, you were a Daft Punk song there for a second.
Are you still there, Sue? I should come back. Oh, I think I broke it. Cora, are you breaking things?
Maybe. Define breaking.
Okay, so when you're in, did you see the part where it's, let me see if I can through my course. Hold on. Let me see if I can show you what I did. So, I believe, go to course. I'm just going to see if I can show you where it is. So, I'm going to share my screen. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Okay. So, here. Oh, yeah. So, share screen. I'm going to do screen 1. Okay, guys. So, can you guys see my screen?
It's still thinking.
Good.
I can see it now.
All right, so now right here, you go up top to resources on the side. This is where you guys see it right here. If I go to course home, this is me. This is me as a student in a different course, cybersecurity. You press resources here. It should have a list out view of all the chapters and everything here, right? So if you do chapter 5, launch cybersecurity. Oh, where is that? That's not what I'm looking for. Here. So here, if you go down to chapter 5, after you launch a chapter 5, the end of course feedback right here. Once you complete this, you'll then be able to click on final exam.
It won't even let me come. When I click end of the course feedback, it says you have been on idle, but I haven't been on idle. And it'll tell me to refresh my system. I'll refresh it and it won't, that's all I get. I don't get that.
Are you the one we had the problems with before with, are you on a Mac? Is that what's going on?
No,
No?
I'm on the PC.
Really, you shouldn't have these issues. And you
But
did the quizzes no problem? You finished all the quizzes with no problem?
I finished all the quizzes, but like you said that you extended the course into December. My course is not extended to that long.
What do you see yours extended to?
Mine I have to finish by October 12th.
Yeah, that's so you can still go through and you can see the course until
Okay.
that date, but the quiz or the final exams have to be in by the 12th. Does that make sense? So
It does.
You can always come back and revisit all you want to till the end of the year, but I want the finals in by what is it? That's the next whatever. Let's go date that is.
It just won't let me do the feedback. It says no, thank you.
So when you're right here, you click on this right, the system description. I believe this is where I took it, right? And then you click on this.
I don't even have I don't even get to I don't have a link that says take assessment. That's why I sent you an email, so you can see the picture.
So when you're right here, you go. So you see all these chapters just like me,
Mhm.
right? And
I
it's
have the end of. It even says the end of course feedback, but when I click on it, I don't have the option to take a assessment.
so you won't see this thing right here.
No, I see that, and when I click on it,
Mhm.
in the inside it says that I've been on idle too long, and it says refresh the page to reset the session. I'll do that, and it just keeps repeating that over and over and over and over again.
Did you try signing out and signing back in?
Yeah, but I'll do it again.
Yeah, that's what I would try too. If I can send you the link to mine, if it'll let you. Sometimes you can just overthink it. Let me see here.
So Travis, now that the test is finished, do we go on to the next coursework?
Nope, that's next week. We start
Oh, okay.
our introduction to cybersecurity. You have your chapter 5, then your final, and I believe our next course starts next week. I believe
Okay.
the syllabus, and that's for the cybersecurity essentials.
We don't need to apply or do any other admin stuff, do we?
Nope. Once you do the course feedback and do the exam, I'll go through, make sure all the quizzes are done. Remember, the quizzes do have points in them too, so the quizzes all have to be done as well. And then I'll go through and I'll give you guys there'll be a point system. It doesn't go like based on how much you guys did or how you talked or how well you did anything. It's all based on numbers on your quizzes and your final. And then we'll give you a number for that. I don't think this course gives you any kind of college credit. I'll talk with Mario about that. But I will show you the directions on how to print a certificate, so you'll have your cert. To me, cybersecurity, it's a oh my god, there's so many more steps to being a cybersecurity technician, but this is one of the main 4 you need to go forward. So if you do these 2, you would do 2 more on your own. I'll give you guys a little diagram on what that would look like if you wanted to go further. But again, I want you most want to focus on if this is something you like to do. And this course isn't about pushing you to go anywhere. It's basically a fun class. I want you guys to talk about and to be very knowledgeable about cybersecurity, just the industry and what's all around you all the time. Not like I said, we're not pushing you to go anywhere. We just want to make sure you guys have fun and to see if maybe there's something you want to do. I want to help facilitate you to get you on further. And if not, definitely a class take for free and get it off your mind. Like, oh, I'm glad I didn't pay for that. So that's definitely what we're here for.
Can these classes lead up to, obviously I'm still new to the actual class stuff, but can these lead up to a CCNA?
So this isn't, well, CCNA has been split up into two different things in the past few years. It's like CCIT and CC and something else now. But this actually is part of the cyber security steps. So it's not part of CNA, it's part of like a cybersecurity certification. And this is one of the certs you'll need, one of the certifications you'll need to go on forward in that class. So you can take 2 of the 4 with us for free, which is cool. So, but then obviously you want to go on to get your actual license to do this. It's 2 other classes, and I think they actually are encompassed in the CCNA that I split off. I'll actually make a little diagram for you guys next week so you can see just basically what you'd be looking for if you wanted to go off. But have you ever seen a Cisco like pathwork to excellence, like what they actually have for the classes? The map is nuts. The classes kind of go everywhere. Well, I'll kind of section off what this course will give you and what the next course will get you. And if you want to be CCNA, like what you need to take, and to CCIT, what you need over here. So the CCNA, what we used to know of back in the day, Cisco Certified Network Administrator, back in the days, I think like 4 years ago, they split it out and made it 2 different types of paths you could take. And I'll show you guys that next week, kind of give you a bigger overview on kind of where this is leading you to.
For least effort, biggest impact courses, what would be your routes?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd have to look at that. My whole thing was I didn't want to go the Cisco route just because I was more into applications and people, and the more you get involved with Cisco, the more you kind of like that guy, you're kind of doing your thing by yourself. So I never ever took a CCNA myself or a CCIT myself. Even though I took, oh god, two weeks and 2 classes to learn it, I never tested out of them. So I know a lot. I know enough to be dangerous, but I'm not certified in either of the courses. But I can definitely with the map I have, I can print out for you and I'll give you a little screen next week. I can show you exactly the classes class you want to take to get where you want to be. And honestly, being part of the Net Academy, you can when I give you these class courses, you can actually take these classes here and then you pay for your tests. And so literally you're kind of like, it's Cisco has become so simple now when it comes to like getting people certified. They kind of just want they want to be this course to teach you everything and basically just get paid for the test. So I think the classes are almost all free these days, and you just pay for the certifications at the end.
Travis, is the tracker thing that we were able to work with on here?
The packet tracker?
Yeah. Is the cybersecurity stuff more along those lines, or is it what we've been doing so far with these quizzes and stuff?
The packet tracker is more of a tool you'd be utilizing if you were definitely going to go into this field. The packet tracker is definitely something you'll be using every day of your life if you become a Cisco certified network technician. It just basically helps you follow packets and where they're going and how routing goes, and basically finding the lifespan and where these packets go to. I put it as part of this course because I wanted you guys to take it if you wanted to be, very proactive and something you knew you wanted to do. I wanted you to have access to that. Definitely give you a bigger, broader range of just thinking what's going on with packets and networking. And that was kind of the hardest thing about this class was I was trying to tell Mario as I was taking it, and I was like, hey, if you want to be in networking, they're going to have to know a lot more networking courses than what I'm teaching them. Like, I mean, I can't teach people octets and teach people how networking works and how 64-bit, it works with the amount of time that I have. And so he said, basically, we'll just give them the tools they want to, and if they want to excel, they can have the tools that are there for you. So if there's something you want to do, please dive into Packet Tracer. It's really cool stuff, and such a broader understanding of what's happening with just when you go online and just when you go to an IP address and what your machines are talking to at all times. It really kind of puts you on this another level of thinking about technology and communication and how your PC is talking to everything in your house without you even doing anything with it. And so literally we'll tell you how to packet trace, and when you put something out there, where it's going to, what node it's hitting, what part of your server it's touching, and where the routes are going through. So definitely, it's not there to make anyone scared or make anybody feel like they're inadequate in the technology. The course is actually pretty simple to start out with, but it will give you such a broader understanding. If you do want to go into this field, you're definitely going to want to take that class, and that's what I made it available for you guys. Okay. But it's not part of getting points with this class or getting R2 certs. But just so you know, if you did want to go forward and there's something that sounds really cool, please delve into that course. It's really cool.
Yeah, it was what I did. I didn't finish it all, but it was like building a house or building upon something. Like somebody once said they'd really like to do the puzzles, and it was like putting a puzzle together. It was a lot of fun to do it.
Cool.
So I recommend doing that along with this class.
Me too. Me too. Sorry, Sue. I think your audio is breaking up again, Sue. Yeah, I got none of that. Is your chat up? You can always chat with us. I think your audio is cutting in and out on us. You can type us in the chat maybe, or maybe you have low connection where you are. Are you kind of moving around? She'll come back, I bet. How about you, Juliana? Do you like last week's course, week number 4?
Not really. I favorite week. Let me look at my notes. I think it was 2 or 3 when they talked about viruses and worms. I thought that was really interesting, but I don't know how 4. I don't know. What did they talk about in 4? Let me look at my notes. Application. Yeah, I don't know. I guess the chain of attacks kind of confused me.
You will get.
But I really enjoyed 2 though. Chapter 2 really interested me.
Me too. One of those ones that was gonna grab me. That chain of attack, that whole process will be on the final. I seen
Mhm.
it. I took it twice, and I seen parts of it where kind of we're both on them. So please remember that.
Okay.
Persons were different about it, but it was definitely on both of them.
I remember there was a question about worms and viruses. That was on my exam anyway.
They
What
seem
was the
very
difference?
focused on zombies and netbots.
Bots. Yeah.
Are you taking the final now, John?
Pardon?
Are you taking the final now?
No, not yet. I've kind of got my mind on 6 different things right now. I'm kind of a perfectionist. I
Sure.
prefer to do it with my best foot forward.
But you guys will be great. I think you guys have no problem taking it. Don't be afraid of it. Please, you have a couple times to take it. Absolutely, use all your time you can. And I'm telling you, just a lot of it was a little bit of terminology, but I've seen a lot of it was in chapter 4 and chapter 5. So just take a little bit of cramming. I think you guys will do very well on it. Don't be afraid of it, and please do all your quizzes too. Okay.
Well, I think I'm going to sign out since I've already taken the exam, and I'll be revisiting with you on Tuesday night next week.
Yes, you will.
Okay. You all be safe this time, huh? Stay
Yeah.
out of trouble with the fire.
Too.
All right. Take care.
What are you gonna do about you, Cora? How about you, Phil? Everything going okay?
Yeah, I'm just doing my second run through of the final right now.
Sure. How'd you do your first time?
I got like 90.5.
Nice. That's really cool. Good job.
Thank you. But I figured I might as well give it another shot.
Yeah, why not, right?
I've got 3 attempts. Might as well use them.
Let me ask you too, is this something you want to do for a future job too?
It's something I'm exploring where I'm not sure if I want to go into it, but it's worth learning anyway.
Good. Especially at Valley, the jobs I've had in the wine industry and fulfillment industry and wine industry, you have to have multiple feathers in your hat. Like,
Yeah.
no one gets hired on to be a hardware guy. No one gets hired on to be a phone guy. Like, you have to be the network, phone, desktop, wireless guy.
Yeah, you got to know how to do everything.
Exactly. So you had a couple of courses in this, understanding this, and then being able to, maybe just facilitate those phone calls to an outside vendor is huge for any company. So even if you're not the cybersecurity, certified person, you might be a cybersecurity guy at your job.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a cool thing to have and to know for sure. It makes you very marketable as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I'm the audio visual guy. Like, I help design and set up smart homes. Guess what? Smart homes today, they run almost exclusively on your network.
Really? Yeah, so now you're a network guy. You're a network guy now.
Yeah, dude, you want to connect the receiver that's down in the basement to your TV up in your room? You can run an HDMI cable all the way. You're going to have to drill holes through 60 fire stops.
Right?
Or you could put 2 HD bases and then run an Ethernet cable, but now it's on the network.
Right, exactly.
So unfortunately, I'm learning that if you want to get homes connected the way that people envision their homes can connect, you need to have a solid backbone of a network. And that's why I kind of want to offer, smart home security is a big thing. So if I can learn enough about this that I can design a network, and I've been in network infrastructure design, that I feel that this is important. And especially with what's happening in the current world, people are going to be in the houses a lot more. You got to lock it up.
Right. You're right.
Definitely.
I said not only just being in the homes a lot more, everything, other network is talking to each other. So even if you don't want to be at home, everything at your house is still chatty while you're away. Absolutely. That's good. I told you guys too. Yeah, I keep regular office hours. I'm always on my email. If you guys have any questions, please reach out to me for anything you guys need. And I can help you guys out with, even if it's IT stuff outside of the classroom. Let me know. I definitely they're definitely helping me keep me afloat with having me keep office hours. So if you guys have emails for me, please reach out for anything I can help you out with. It was not even just cybersecurity related, or just about even about jobs in the area, or just anything you guys are interested about with technology. Please, I have a lot of resources. I have a lot of people in the industry I work with. I have no problem reaching out to anyone I know to help you guys out. So please use my time.
Yeah, sure. Put me in contact with someone that will make me learn how to operate routers effectively. I'm game for it.
Yeah, I got some. I know some guys. You probably know the same guys I know, but but I know some guys for sure.
Yeah, I feel that the more I'm learning about, the more I'm like, okay, I need to get the fundamentals done, and I'm willing to go low. Let's get the fundamentals. Let's move up.
I might even have. I used to have a networking for dummies book. Those books are amazingly smart. Like they're really. I actually had a better time learning my network for dummies than I did the CCNA course. I think I probably learned about the exact same amount of questions or so of content. Building a network's hard, man. It's not only hard, but it's frustrating because there's certain IP addresses that are meant for certain things. If you don't have the right class, you kind of pigeonhole yourself into it. we were at a fulfillment company in Marion Canyon. I won't tell you which one. Literally put themselves in such a small class that when they merged with another company, they had to go SuperNet and have two other company vendors come in to build out their network for them. It was ridiculous. I thought, why would you have a building this big and think you only need 196 devices at one time? I'm like, are you kidding me? But then again, when they first started out, they weren't that big. They'll use a part of the building, and so it's like you have to be ready for expansion. You have to be ready for scalability in everything you do. And networking, Jesus, is such a big mistake, and it is such a costly mistake to put yourself in that type of a box.
And the other thing that I'm learning is if you want to get things done right, you gotta be able to accept the word redundancy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You need two of everything, and some of those one of those things can be expensive. You need two.
Yep. You have to fail over. You have to switch over, definitely. And
single
again,
point of failure.
With these fires too, a lot of stuff's becoming more virtual. Not as much hardware is actually in buildings anymore. It's actually becoming very it's becoming very scarce. Like PCs are, they don't even have hard drives. Some of these things are just wise terminals. So basically just all of their information is pumped out that session and there's no hard drive actually in the device. Like a lot of the stuff is almost completely network. It's pretty crazy.
Well, look at that gaming company. What's it called? Stadia? So you don't need to buy a graphics card anymore. You just use Stadia's engines and then you can have like a 3080 graphics card, so they say, but you don't physically have a graphics card. You're using their remote stuff.
Really? You think that the calculation will be so fast, pump it down to your screen that quickly? In 4K, is that possible?
I think dude, I'm obviously interested in what NVIDIA are doing right now. They've got high hopes for 4K gaming, right. But all the big players that do the testing and stuff, they're raising an eyebrow like it can happen. Right. It's the rest of the world is not there yet, like the entire computer. Right. And can you imagine trying to be competitive, like a competitive streamer? Yeah. In 4K and you're not getting like the right FPSs and things like that.
You're too far from the hub and you're getting glitched out and you're getting headshotted. Like, yeah, be pretty upset.
Yeah, your ping shoots up, like you're sitting at a nice comfortable 30 and then suddenly your ping goes up to like 150. And then suddenly it's your ISP provider's fault.
Your fiber only goes to 10 miles from the hub and you're on Angwin.
Yeah.
Right? Not happening.
Shame. Actually, I spoke to somebody the other day. There's a big wine group here in the valley, and they own the winery up on top of Soda Canyon. And they spent a living fortune out of pocket putting fiber up the mountain.
Wow.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars toast just for the fiber. And he's been begging, crying, pleading for it for years. And he finally got it lost, I don't know, probably, I think they finished it in February or something.
Sure.
And now all that gone.
I'm wondering though, is there, I mean, because fiber is glass. I mean, if they had it sealed on both ends, if it's in the mountain, could it be safe inside maybe still?
I'm sure, like, I don't think they're going to put it overhead. I'm sure they would put it direct burial. I didn't actually ask him how they put it up the mountain, but like what he was more concerned about was what it was going into up on the mountain.
Sure.
You know, that was a big project that he spent a lot of time and love invested into, and it's now.
You know, I'd make sure that that conduit obviously was fire rated and obviously electric rated, but then at the same time when it came out at the end, it would definitely go through an interface that would also have a fire conduit on either end, so it might be safe inside, but again, what it's going to is probably all demolished. but that tube might be fine. I'd wonder.
I've assisted with several up the mountain fiber burial projects, and I've seen where corners get cost. They don't always go under the ground all the time. There are places where you, air quotes, can't bury it, you know. So, and I mean, you know what that mountain's like, so it would be interesting to see if they did bury it all the way. I'd be impressed, but.
Do you think though too at that point how much money you're spending on it? You'd want to make sure that if there was an earthquake, that thing would be safe. But yeah, I mean, again, you're like what, $45 a foot, something like that. I'm sure.
Up that mountain, dude, that must have cost them. If you told me it cost them $600,000 to put up on that mountain, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, that'll be a little low. Well, it's huge. I mean, you're going through dirt and rock terrain, and you want to make sure mostly all of it was underground. You wouldn't want to come up for anything if they had to. I mean, that's your point of failure. The moment it comes out of the dirt is a point of failure.
Well, yeah, you also don't know if like the conduit could survive baking under the ground. There are several factors into this. Then there's the water factor. There's heavy equipment factor coming in there now. Sure.
And again, if it did come out of the ground and it had to go back under certain places, they could almost be like a fire break. Like definitely they say we kept 2/3 of it because we were able to cut it off at these places. But I'd love to see what happened afterwards with that. That'd be kind of cool to find out.
I'll probably come back a little bit later when everything's a little more calm and see how they fixed it up. I've always been interested on the whole fiber optic, how they connect that stuff. I can't afford a $60,000 tool to fuse the things, but it's interesting to watch them.
My nephew can show you to do that. My nephew does that for cell towers, and then that 10 minutes. The guy that lays the conduit isn't the guy that connects it. The guy that cuts the fiber and mounts it to the connection. That guy's job was like 5 minutes long, and he gets paid more than anybody on the site.
Yeah, but he's the guy that rocks up with a $60,000 to $90,000 tool.
Yes, exactly.
That has a little microscope, and then you see it, and he's like, oh, there's an air bubble. And you're like, where? Over there, that little microscopic thing, that will turn your gigabit thing down to 600 megs. Yes. You're like, oh, okay.
And plus, you gotta make sure for me, like if I'm pulling it, I'm pulling like, the 48 strand. I'm not even gonna worry about pulling like a 4 or 8. Like if we're gonna go this much money, we're gonna make sure that if we have a dead glass break, we're gonna have, the whole way through. Those guys blow torch it. Those guys will cook it in. Those guys are crazy. Those dudes that do the fiber, the connecting, are really, they're out there.
Yeah.
Good job to have, man.
Yeah, it's interesting watching them. They're pretty much one-trick ponies, but again, it's an impressive trick if you actually watch what they do.
How about you, Julian? You think you do go to cybersecurity after this? Are you pretty intrigued on going further?
I definitely want to get a little bit more into this. I mean, it's kind of one of those things. I wanted to start because I lost my job at the beginning of all this stuff, and I kind of found that people needed to work at home a lot more. And I have everyone that knows what I do, they're coming at me and they're asking to help them like install Wi-Fi in their house and like fix their home offices. What would I do? You know, and so I've helped design several home offices and get things going. And so I'm like, the one piece of the puzzle is I can't really put a successful firewall system into a house. I don't, this is people's security. I don't have enough background where I can vouch 100% this will work. And everyone is just pinging me on that one little thing. And it's like, that's something I could charge a retainer for if I start my own company. Like I can monitor everything. I can update everything for you. I can make sure it works. If it goes down, you might not even know it goes down. So that's like, once you have a customer, you always have a customer, you know? So it's that.
It's also the liability too. And if you are a company, like, I might want to even subcontract that part out, because that's the part that, I mean, as you know now, like how safe can you ever be? I mean, they're hacking into colleges and Experian and other financial institutions. Believe me, someone's house is nothing to them if they wanted to. I hate to have that liability hanging over me.
Dude, the worst thing you need is to have someone like flag you, like, oh, this is a big mucker in a big company and he's working from his house.
Yeah, right.
You know, like your LinkedIn profile. This is the big mucker that does all this stuff. He's got all the passwords. He's got the big $1 million smile. And he's like, oh, he lives over here. Not a problem. Oh, look what. He's got a little Linksy router. Oh, that's cute. Okay, anyways. Oh, it's got it.
4-port D-Link router. You can see it from the window.
Yeah. Oh, he's got a nice receiver in the lounge. Okay, that's cute. Ooh, check his browser history. That's funny.
How about you, Juliana? You think about going to a job in cybersecurity after this? Was it a pretty nice class to get you kind of your feet wet?
It was. I enjoyed it. I think I'll get a better sense of it when we do the next course, because it's a little more hands-on, and I'm a hands-on learner. Like I can read this all day, but till I'm, in the beginner's course, then I can really get a good sense of it. But yeah, I'm glad I did it. I really enjoyed it, especially when they talked about the different attacks they have. I was really intrigued by that.
That's awesome. Yeah, because just having that that hunger right there will actually push you forward, because like you said, you're probably a puzzle person, and those things that intrigue you, those things be coming at you like crazy. Every day will be something new. So if this something that intrigues you, you're definitely on the right path. Any questions, you guys? Phil got the A on the quiz. It's pretty awesome, man. Good job for you.
Thank you.
You'll be with us for essentials as well.
Yeah, I believe so.
Did you take the packet tracer course?
No, I didn't really look at that.
It's not part of the course. It's totally extra. But if you're doing well in this, you might want to check it out. You probably will be very intrigued with it too.
All right, I'll take a look at it.
All right, at least I got the survey out. I'll probably, once everything's calmed down and I'm not worried about all the interesting stuff going on, I'll actually sit down and focus on this.
I know. Yeah, you say, man, you have another week to do it. Don't worry about it. I think by next Sunday, the 12th, I think was the deadline, and the course is available whenever. But the final I want to do by the 12th, which is next Monday. Not the one coming up, one after that. And sorry.
After you do the survey, it's just that's the final course after that, right? That's that.
Once you do the survey, then basically now the final's open. So it's two different things. So you'll have time to do it afterwards, and that's all it is. Yeah, he said, don't be afraid for you. You'll be fine, and you have time to take it. We'll go to essentials next week, and that's not a big deal. Just please make sure you do all your quizzes, because when it comes down to the end, the quizzes are also weighted with the point score for the class. So the exam, the final exam is the big portion, like the biggest portion of it, but the quizzes do have a weight in there as well. So please make sure those are all done as well.
Well, I'm up to date with everything. I've just got the final exam, so
Brother. All right,
I'll
Juliana.
have that done next day or two.
All right, Juliana, you too. Good job, Phil. I'll see you guys next week. And again, please email me for anything you might need. I'm here to take questions about anything for you guys.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right,
Good
thanks.
job. Let's see you soon. There, John.
See you soon.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.